Good morning and welcome with me, the Ginger Carpman. Firstly, apologies, I just haven't been uploading for quite some time. Just got a new job, weather's been poop, so yeah, just not been getting out recording, but hopefully now going to see a lot more content going online. Where am I? I'm at a legendary Marlborough Pool in Oxfordshire. I joined here last year as a member and I did about 8 or 9 sessions, had 15 carp in the end, biggest going 28. So this season my aim is to get a 30 pounder. So my quest is to get a 30 pounder out of here. It's not easy, because I live 2 hours away in Bournemouth, and obviously it's not a water I can just pop up to and do a few hours, so I have to sort of plan the sessions, and if you get bad weather or the fish aren't just having it, it's one of those things. So the aims, 15 fish between now and January the 1st, and my quest is to hit that 30 pounder mark. I've never had one, so I want to catch it from here. So what I'll do is I'll probably upload 2 or 3 sessions into one video, just so it's a bit of content for you, and hopefully we'll achieve the aim of hitting that 30 pounder mark. So there we go, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. As I said, when it comes to the baits, I honestly, the Parker baits, the OG fish, has done wonders. I honestly could not believe the day when I changed over to it and I had the 19 fish. It was just literally, the solid bag was hitting the water, and it would, sometimes the bobbin would pull out my hands. And I'm not saying it because I'm in any way sponsored by them or linked to them. I'm not. What I will do on my videos, if it's a product it's worth talking about, I'll talk about it. And this is one of those products. It really makes a difference. So that's my main, the OG fish. Just normals. They're great. You know, if you want to know more about it, go to Parker Bait's website or watch the videos on a Sunday night at 7:30 with Ben and Tom. They're really good videos and really informative, and fun element to it as well. But yeah, if you want to know more about them, go on their website and what's in them. But yeah, they've made a difference for me. Also, I've got the OG fruit and nut as well now. What I've done with this, slight little variation, I don't know if you can see on camera, but they look a bit, what I did was put a little bit of OG fruit and nut sauce in with them about a couple of weeks ago and let it soak in. That's a really good smell. They're going to catch. I just say this is my first session this year, but they are going to catch 100%. So at the moment OG fish has done wonders for me, but I know that's going to catch fish. And just slight variation on what I did, I've got some OG fish. I don't know if you can see that, but I put some chili sauce in with it. I've left that in there now for about 2-3 weeks, and it's all soaked in. It smells lovely. If I was a carp, I'd want to eat them. Yeah, so that's OG fish with chili sauce that they've been soaking in for some time. Again, I'm pretty sure that's going to catch when we start using them. And that's what I use all the time. I don't use anything else. The only alternative, sometimes I add that to my solid bag, the goo, and I use the white squid supreme. Just found that just makes a little bit of a difference sometimes when you want to have a little bit more attraction in your solid bag. But yeah, I always go for the goo white squid. Time for dinner. Tonight's treat is chicken and bacon salad. I thought I'd just give you a quick show round in my bivvy, because anybody that knows me and sees me fishing will tell you I'm a bivvy tart, and I don't mind admitting it. When I go for like 3, 4, 5 nights, I like to be comfortable. So let's take you in and show you around. So, nice warm sleeping bag first. Most important thing at the end, my hot water bottle, my Tatty Teddy hot water bottle. Yes, I know I'm going to get some stick for that. Up here, my pillow, and this is the best bit of kit I've got. So it's this table that folds out all into one, but it's just so handy. So I've got all my cooking stuff on one side and coffee on there, and then a bit lower down, better height for you, is my radio, candles. I do have, like, obviously I get, mozzies love me, so I do like to put candles on at night. Clock and everything. Down here, all cooking bits again, ketchups, orange juice, bits and bobs. Receiver down there. And my favourite little bit in here is all my food, all zipped away, all neat and tidy. So yeah, so I know I'm a bivvy tart, but I do like to be in some comfort. And then this side is obviously all my bits and bobs, bait boat and buckets for bait boat mix. in that last clip you just saw me making up what I call my bait boat mix. So it's my mix that I put in the hopper of the bait boat, just to scatter around the solid bag. It's a mixture of pellet, boilies, and some crumb, boilie crumb, but what the most important thing, what I add to it, firstly, so OG fruit and nut, I put quite a good glugging of this in, and then add to it some fish sauce. Buy it from any supermarket, a bit like soy sauce really, a bit stronger though, but has a very salty taste to it, and you know Carp loves salt, so yeah, so I've been using this, and that's a cheaper option than buying some of the other brands, and obviously a bit of oil, so I like to add in the salmon and Scopex oil, but that's the three things I add to my mix for in the bait boat when I'm spodding. Well, what a result. Dead on 11 o'clock. Right hand rod absolutely ripped off. And this beautiful, absolutely stunning 25 pound 2 ounce common. Oh, wow, she's a beast. Take a look at that. It don't come much better than that. That is stunning. Beautiful fish. On the other side for you. Oh, flip. There you go. What a stunning fish that is. There you go. Away she goes. Thank you very much, Mr. Common. Well, good morning, and it was a good night last night, apart from the weather. I mean, it rained from 6 till 10:30, then I had the run at 11 o'clock. Thankfully it stopped raining when I come out the bivvy. Unfortunately I had my bivvy slippers on and they got soaked when I come outside, but it was worth it. But it was cold. It was cold as well last night. In the winter and spring, I'm a big natural user, so I like to put maggots on, worms on, and I don't know if any of you have used worms, but they can be an absolute nightmare to put on, especially if you try using like an expander or the bands. They're just horrendous. So I've come up with this little rig that I made. All it is simply a bait screw. Let me show you. So I've got a D-rig with a bait screw, and onto that I've made, so I cut a piece of zig foam, a little piece of zig foam with a bait screw in the other end. All I do is I screw that onto the bait screw, as so, and then you can see then at the end you've got that kind of effect, and then at the end of it you've got the bait screw which you can put the bait floss in with the worms, and I'll show you now how I put the worms onto the bait floss. and then it just threads through and you can tie them on. Much easier and quicker way than trying to use the expander bands or whatever you use, but I say that way works for me. It's caught fish. So yeah, and I'll show you now just how I put the worms on. So when it comes to putting the worms on, I use bait floss. Get a good section off. So. And then just trim off equal lengths. Nice big juicy worms, look at them. No doubt the carp love these in the winter and spring months when they're not sort of feeding as actively on the boilies. And then all I do is just I thread them down to the stop. Normally put on about 6 or 7, so there's a nice big bunch there, all wriggling around. It's just so much quicker. There you go. And all I do then, once I've got my, is just trim off at the needle end. Turn and tighten it. I normally do a couple or 3 little knots just to keep them held on. Trim off the excess, and there you go. Also, something else what I like to do with the worms is I put them in a bag. You have to be careful because obviously the worms aren't PVA friendly. So what I do is I've got some pellet and crumb all mixed up. So put some in a bag first, just up to there. And I just drop the worms in the bag, top up the bag with the rest of the crumb, and not overdo it. You don't want to crush the worms that are in there because then they'll just push hard against the PVA bag and split it and they'll start crawling through. And all I do is I just generally just get a bit of PVA tape, wrap it around a couple of times and then tie it off. As such. Cut off the tags again. There you go. Well, as session 1 draws to an end, got to start the pack down soon. Got to get on the road, get back home to Bournemouth. But no, quite happy with session 1. Had the carp on the first evening. £25 2 ounce, lovely common, so well happy with that. I've had 4 tench and Mr. Bream last night at 2:15 in the morning, so yeah, so quite happy with my first session. So now the pack, I was just on the pack down and just had a single bleep on the middle rod over on the end of them reeds, and not a carp again, another tench, but £6 2 ounces. You can't really complain when you get quality fish like that. There's a £6 2 ounce, a lovely tench.